Hello everyone, congratulations. You are now at the last topic of your 2-year journey of H2 economics. We are at topic 19, Globalization, International Trade and Economic Cooperation. There are 3 lectures in total, and before we delve into each lecture, let's begin with an overview of the topic so that you know the flow of the 3 lectures and how each segment connects with one another. Let's begin. First and foremost, I have 2 pieces of good news for you. Number 1, topic 19 is not a new topic at all. It actually builds on your past knowledge. You will see many familiar concepts and you will reuse some of the frameworks that you should be a master of. For example, you will see some macro concepts in globalization, such as exports, imports, and foreign direct investments. You know surely by now that these are your components of AD. And of course, when you would use the ADS framework, you know that you are using it to explain the impact on the economy, which are your buck P's. Another concept that you will see is foreign labor. As we know, labor is one of the factors of production of an economy. So that links to the QQT, the quality, quantity, and level of technology in your economy, and that can influence your long-run AS, and again, impact the economy in terms of its macro goals, which we organize as buck P's. Now, what is interesting about this topic is that you will now travel back to JC1. You will see some micro concepts also, and this is why this topic is often the last topic, because it's like pulling every concept together. So you'll see some micro concepts such as PPC and opportunity cost. And then in the discussion of the impact of globalization, we also analyze the impact on consumers and producers after we analyze what's the impact on the economy and the government. So for consumers, you will see some concepts such as price and variety of goods, which if you recall, we taught you that in Firms and Decision in JC1. And for producers, we are very familiar with what producers interest most in, which is your profits. And of course, the components of profits is your revenue and cost. So we'll see how globalization affect revenue and cost and hence affect the profits of producers. Again, these are your concepts in Firms and Decision in JC1. Last but not least, we talk about some policies in the whole sphere of globalization. And one of the policy is the imposition of tariffs. And once you see the tariff graph, you will find it very familiar because this is our DDSS model. And now I have the second piece of good news for you. Globalization is actually all around you. This means it is highly relatable and is something very concrete and not too abstract. So for example, in your EJC canteen, we all love the iJuice machine. I heard that it's very popular among the teachers and I'm pretty sure among the students. And iJuice prides itself on picking the best oranges from Australia and the USA. So this is actually a type of imports where you bring the oranges into Singapore. And this is something that we will talk about in globalization. And then, as you can see, we have a lot of construction work around your junior college, right? And these construction work are often done by foreign companies. So for instance, one of the companies that's involved in the construction of MRT in Singapore is China Communications Construction. So we can see how foreign firms are present in our local economy. And this is also part of globalization. And then we have a group of very hardworking foreign workers who help us build the Singapore that we have today and what we will have in the future. So you can actually see that there are a lot of foreign elements in Singapore. And of course, Singapore has a presence globally as well. So this is actually what globalization is all about. So knowing that you have these two pieces of good news, it means that you can use them as your advantage to master this topic. Now, this is the overview of topic 19, Globalization, International Trade, and Economic Cooperation. It is split into 3 lectures based on a very familiar framework that we have been using in the study of macroeconomics. It is the causes, consequence, and policy framework. In lecture 1, we will answer 2 questions. What is globalization? What are the causes of globalization? Under this lecture, you will learn the definition of globalization and the reasons for globalization. In lecture 2, we are going to answer one big question. What are the consequences of globalization? As of every macro goal or objective, we always take a very balanced view on looking at the benefits and costs. It is the same for globalization. We will explore the benefits and the costs of globalization. And what is interesting about this topic is we will not just look at the impact on the governments in terms of its macro goals. We will also look at the impact on producers and consumers. Last but not least, in lecture 3, we are going to ask ourselves, what are the trade policies that the government could do in response to the benefits and costs of globalization? Same thing, we look at the H&L framework, how the policies work, and what are the possible limitations. So, there are two main wings of policy. Number one is free trade policies that looks at the benefits of globalization and hope to harness all these benefits. Then on the other side, we have the policy of protectionism that hopes to reduce the cost of globalization. These are two different approaches adopted by different governments, and it will be very interesting to learn the rationale behind why the two different approaches. Now, can I draw your attention to the key concepts to focus on for each lecture? The good news is these are relatively new concepts. This means they are not entirely new. They are built upon the past knowledge that you have. In lecture 1, under the reasons for globalization, one of the reasons is supported by a theory called the theory of comparative advantage. You have heard of this theory in your balance of trade topic before. And this theory is also built on your past knowledge of the PPC and the opportunity cost. So when you watch lecture 1, please make sure you have a clear understanding of this theory of comparative advantage. As for lecture 2, under consequences of globalization on the three economic players, we will revisit some of the key concepts that you have learned before. For example, when you are analyzing impact on the government, remember, always link back to your ADAS framework and eventually link to your macro goals, that is, organized or classified under BAC-Ps. As for producers and consumers, please relate back to the concepts that you learned before in your JC1 topic of firms and decision. The impact on producers focuses on the impact on revenue, costs, and eventually profit, which is the main objective of the firm. As for consumers, we relate back to concepts such as price and the variety of goods and services. And these two concepts help to maximize the objective of the consumers, which is consumer satisfaction or consumer utility. Last but not least, under the policy section in lecture 3, please pay close attention to the tariff graph. One of the protectionistic policy is tariff. There are tariff and non-tariff measures. But for tariff measure, you need to focus on the tariff graph, which is essentially your DDSS model. Now, this is the last slide of the topic overview video. I hope that earlier, when I shared with you the key concepts to focus on for each lecture, it can help you master this topic more efficiently. Now, the next piece of information that could be useful for you is how the different pages of the lecture notes correspond to each lecture. In lecture 1, when we learn what is globalization and what are the causes of globalization, please read pages 1 to 20. For lecture 2, when we talk about the consequences of globalization, please read pages 20 to 29. I would like to make a special mention of the super summary in Annex. We call this a super summary because it has a comprehensive listing of the different aspects of globalization on all the three economic players, the government, the producers, and the consumers. It means that if you take time to master this super summary, you will be able to brainstorm the answers from every possible angle that the question may pose. How is this super summary different from pages 20 to 29? Some of the key benefits and costs of globalization on each of the economic players are highlighted in the super summary. And these key impacts are explained in detail in from pages 20 to 29. What does this mean for you? This means that these two sets of resources are to be used differently. Pages 20 to 29 aims to teach you how to develop a detailed explanation, a clear explanation for your questions. Whereas the super summary helps you see ideas, help you generate points for your answers. I hope this is useful for you. Last, for lecture 3 on trade policies, you will be reading pages 29 to 41. Okay, with this, we are at the end of our topic overview video. Please continue with your learning.